Hi, today we're going to do a chi-squared test in SPSS. In front of you, you can see two nominal variables. You've got religion here, which is either no religion or Christian, and you've got a variable called help here, which is either not obliged or obliged, where the question is whether somebody is morally obliged to help another person in severe need. The data comes from an experiment I'm running on a philosophy site, which asks people various moral questions, and this is a subset of that data. What we're interested in is whether there's an association between people's religion and the way they respond to the moral question. The data we're dealing with here is nominal in both instances. In other words, it can't be ranked in any kind of meaningful order. I mean, no religion doesn't rank above Christian, and obliged and not obliged similarly can't be ranked. The correct statistical test, when you want to discover whether there's an association between two nominal variables, is the chi-squared test, and that's the one we're going to be doing. Okay, so we click the Analyze button, then Descriptive Statistics, and then crosstabs. Here you can see our two variables. If we had more variables here, then they would also appear in this box, and you'd need to identify the two that you were interested in. But we've only got two variables, so it's easy for us. We've got to get the two variables over into these boxes, one in each box, and it doesn't matter which order they go in. Like that. Once they're there, go to Statistics, select chi-square. Now the chi-square statistic is a measure of association. It tells you whether the two variables are associated with each other, but it doesn't tell you how strongly they are associated with each other. For that you need an effect size. Phi and Kramer's V will do that job. Now go to Cells and click on Expected Count. That's the count that you'd get if it were the case that the two variables were not associated with each other. Click Continue, and now you're set up. Press OK. If you've never seen the output of an SPSS procedure before, you're probably thinking, what the hell is all that stuff? So let's take a look at it. Up here we've got our crosstabs table, which specifies our observed and expected counts. The expected count is what we would expect to see if the two variables were entirely independent of each other. That is, if there were no association between the two variables. In that case, we would expect to see that 253 Christians would state that they were not obliged to help the person in need, and 265 atheists would say the same thing. As you can see, the expected count differs from the actual count, which is what we'd expect to see if the two variables were indeed associated with each other. The key issue here is whether the difference is big enough that we can be confident it didn't occur merely by chance. In other words, does the difference reach significance? And that's where the chi-square test comes in. So this is our chi-square test table, and it shows that we have a chi-square score of 25.224, which gives you a p-value, what they call here asymptotic significance, of 0.000. Now that's going to be significant for pretty much any alpha level that you're likely to choose. People normally work with 0.05, sometimes with 0.01, but either way it's almost certainly going to be a significant result. What this means is we can be pretty much certain that the two variables here, religion and the way that people respond to the moral question, are associated with each other. They are not independent variables. What this means is that you're going to reject your null hypothesis that there is no association between the two variables, and accept the alternative hypothesis, which in this case would hold that the response to the moral question about helping the person in need is dependent upon the religion of the respondent. Basically, it looks like Christians are more likely than atheists to think you're obliged to help the person in need. However, while we can be confident about that, we don't yet know how strong the relationship is. This is where effect size comes into play. You'll remember from before that we selected phi and Kramer's V as our measures of effect size. Phi has a value of 0.115, you can ignore the minus, which represents a small effect. So what our chi-square test is telling us is that we can be very confident that there is an association between religion and the way the moral question is answered, but that the effect here is quite small. Religion isn't playing a big role in how people respond to the question. Okay, that's it for this tutorial. Please like and share if you found it useful, and check out easyspss.com for more SPSS tutorials.